I have come to the realization that setting up a business is really, really hard. Hello everybody, my name is behindthe-scenes. I am studying epidemiology, which is my master's in public health at the University of Massachusetts Lowell. I am your host of my Planet Health podcast, and today I present to you some challenges and all other things I've learned along the way as I embark on this journey on starting a venture called Handi. So, welcome to my podcast. If you were not here last episode, I recommend that you check it out, but I can help you recap it. We spoke about the ability to have audacity. Having audacity does not make you a loser. It actually makes you stronger. It puts you in a better position to get what you want. Because if you do not face the challenges, all of these loopholes that you need to get to the place that you want, you are just not gonna get there. And a lot of the times, being able to get to what you want takes audacity, takes courage, it takes boldness, and it takes doing certain things that you just wouldn't do otherwise if it wasn't for the fact that you really want to get to this goal. So I encourage you to go out there, have audacity to do all of the things that you've aspired to do. Is it content creation? Have you always wanted to post that vlog? Make sure you do so, because it is an important part of you. Yes, it could be challenging, but what other way can you be learning? If you don't post, you're never gonna know what you're doing wrong, what's getting better, what is going on. A lot of the times people just don't even care. Do you care enough? How bad do you want it? Because if you want it just as bad, you would not care so much about what your cousin, your best friend, or perhaps that auntie that raised you when you were 5 that you don't remember thinks. Let's be for real right now, because a lot of the times we put ourselves in this box, we put ourselves in this container of, oh, do they like my content? What do they think of me? Do I look cringe? Because it's not what you would normally do. And that is good. You need to push yourself beyond what you usually do. Because guess what? You are not just a person of one caliber. You can definitely branch out and try new things to see whether you like them or not. If it doesn't work out, branch, move on. If it does, however, then you get to tell yourself, I am very glad that I took the opportunity to try and fail. Failing actually is not an option. Pretty sure everybody has failed. Google failed. What company can you think of that just did not have to go through any sort of failure in their process? I'm waiting. 5 minutes. Time is ticking. You need to make sure that you are giving yourself the opportunity to grow in whatever field or whatever aspect you see yourself growing or you see yourself evolving into. That's my message. And I say this for myself because I said this in reference to a movie that I watched, which primarily was produced by Sonia Uche. If you don't know who she is a wonderful human being. And she essentially was so interested in so many things: football, singing, dance, acting, a lot of these things. And all of these things that she wanted to do, she would try it out with all of her heart. But guess what? Her mother, who was her biggest hater, I think she was her biggest hater. You could think otherwise, but don't watch the movie. It's very cute. The mother was just so adamant on her daughter not being able to make it, which is foul. Like, it's bad for you as the mother to not even encourage your daughter. That is a red flag. I'm sorry, it is a red flag, because she was like, oh, you're never gonna make it, what are you doing, you're dancing. Like, just because I've not made it to that big stage doesn't mean I'm not going to make it. So that's another thing you should tell yourself. Just because you've not made it to that level of influencer stage yet doesn't mean you are not gonna get there. It takes practice, it takes time, and perhaps are you even prepared for all of that responsibility? Because trust me, being up there, while it looks all cookies and cream, it is a lot of work. You don't want to wish for someone's life or someone's lifestyle or someone's position without willing to take the burden, take the responsibility, because a lot goes into that. And I just learned that today. It was a video that practically was saying, hey, you cannot move like just anyhow. When you have a cup full, you need to be very careful. And the thing is, once you are full, like the person used the cup as an analogy. So practically, if you have an empty cup, you can just daggle it up and down. Nothing really will happen because it's empty. But when it's full, now you have to take real good care of that cup to not spill all of the water or juice that you put in that cup. So you work so hard to fill that cup with water. Now you have to maintain it. So maintaining it as easy as other people make it look online. We're like, hey, welcome back to my influencer day in the live, 9 to 5, this, that. Are you ready to be able to maintain that lifestyle? Because being able to hold a cup steadily without it flinching is a skill. Are you ready for that? And you're only going to be ready if you keep posting all of your small videos that people may not get attention to. You may be doing all that small brand deals. I personally look forward to the day I do a brand deal. Like, that would be so real. I've done a couple of videos for UGC content for others, but it's always amazing to just see within yourself what you can do and not really overemphasize or infantilize other people's lives, because again, you're not in the position. And if you were in the position, could you take all of the things that they're going through, the responsibility, the time? It is a lot. So maybe dwell on that a little bit more. Anyways, coming back to this episode, we are talking about Handi. You may ask yourself, what is Handi? Handi is essentially a service for everybody. It's primarily targeted, or it's going to be marketed to the senior citizens to allow them to make better decisions and engage in certain activities that will help them make their daily lives better. We also want to improve their independence, and we'll be able to do that through Handi. So, what is the background of Handi? How did I even come up with this idea? I signed up for this cohort entrepreneurship program thing for UMass Lowell. It's called Lift M2D2, and I'm very grateful for that program. But if you know me, I am one to sign up every single program I see. I didn't think much of it. All it had to do with was you had to come up with a solution concerning older adults. Now, I picked this and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I realized there was a missing link. Senior adults, and I'm saying senior adults because my grandmother, she's 68 and she is a senior, so I've seen firsthand how much things, particularly telephone usage and all of these other things, can be very difficult for them, right? So I was like, whoa, I know Be My Eyes provides support for seniors with the help of volunteers, and this support is only one-dimensional. It's almost like it's only concerning like visual assistance. So what can we do using the same model but expanding more to just realistic things, administrative, medical, language translation, social events? We want to get a little bit more creative and expand that a lot more. And so I honestly, at first, I was very excited about the project. I just wasn't sure what to go about it, how to go about it, because I was very new. I'm still very new. I've never really studied business. The only business class I took was like a personal financing class. So I'm not really into business. I'm doing my master's in public health right now. I'm studying medicine next year, so you can imagine. All right. So enrolling in this program was like, whoa, Benny, what are you doing? But I'm very glad I did, because then I was able to develop this idea. Shout out to my mentor, Richard, who gave me the opportunity to brainstorm a lot of this idea. He was like, oh, this is a good idea. Maybe let's expand on it more. So I took the time to reflect on what I really wanted in Handi, alongside with all of the services I wanted to present and serve to the people that would be using Handi. It was important to me to provide a service that will allow people to be themselves and to promote their individual lives where they would feel comfortable and just ready to do anything. That included including a medical hub where people can have direct contact with their healthcare providers, and if they had any questions about their insurance, they could ask them straight ahead. If they had any issues with their medications, that could also be there, but that's not something that we're piloting with it in the beginning. It's going to be added in a later stage, but at least it will help because they have all of the things that they need in one app. The challenge is the senior groups, but it will work out when we find out the right way to finance and manage this. The other option was to add a transportation hub, which is one of my top priorities. Using my grandmother as the inspiration, she will forever be the inspiration behind this project, by the way. So the transportation, being able to book a ride directly by yourself with the help of a volunteer was very important to me because I'm going to be starting medical school next year, and that means it's just going to be a whole lot of chaotic entanglements here, but at least she'll have someone to help assist her in all of the things that she will be doing with when it came to transportation. Another thing would be booking an appointment to her doctor. She'll be able to do that as well with the volunteers. So I was able to piece together all of these other things that would go towards the service. Now the idea is done. So how do we research and figure out how to best market it and tailor it to our best abilities? And quite honestly, that was one of the challenging parts, because you need to not only find the problem but justify your problem and de-risk your problem as well, because you need money, and to get money you need to de-risk. So having to do research to find how many people, how many older adults, old cars, how many of them had this attraction to prevent social isolation, how many of them visited the ER, how many of them were late to the appointment. All of those things count when you're trying to tell a story with numbers about your problem or the problem that you're trying to solve. So for me and with Handi, we found some data that I'm going to share. The data, starting with the population of older adults in Worcester area, we found that about 27,000 residents were 65 and older, and to stratify it further in ages, there were about 58% that were 65 to 74, 26.7% that were about 75 years, and 15.2% that were about 85 plus. Now, we also looked into the percentage of them living with disability, and about 24.5% had some sort of self-reported ambulatory difficulty, which means that they know themselves that they have difficulty moving around. So it would perhaps, for Handi, would be beneficial to provide assistance, maybe host some sort of like home health through the app or something. So there are about 17% with independent living difficulty and about 9% with just self-care difficulty. Now, I looked at other ways like access to care for 65 plus populations. Sorry, I'm speaking way too fast. But there were about 32.6% that were eligible for both Medicare and Medicaid. There were 44% that were in Medicare. So what is going on with the rest of the percentage? 64%, right? 4.6% could not see their primary care doctor due to costs. So that's an area that Handi could, I guess, come in and mitigate a little bit. I went ahead to map the data and found that only 53% of the people living in Central City owned vehicles in Worcester. So the rest of the people, meaning about 47%, do not own the vehicles. How do they get to their destination? So that was one of those questions that Handi was trying to answer. The other one was trying to identify the number of emergency room visits, and we found that the number was pretty high in the Worcester area. why. It's possible that they just don't have the right transportation, the right means to visit their primary care provider, and so they just resort to calling 911 to take them to the ER, which can be costly, both on the end of the hospital and on the end of the senior themselves. Ideally, using these data points alongside the fact that in general, technology, while being a way to connect, is a huge problem and a barrier for many older adults. And we as a community, and personally me as someone trying to create something like Handi, I recognize that not everyone can use technology, and so we're trying to find a way to solve that and use just simple buttons, big text to make it easier for the people. Ideally, we want people to get their things done easily and quickly. Things like being able to apply for food stamps, right? If they don't know how to apply for it, they're not getting those food stamps, and that is more cost on the end of the senior. And we would be able to provide assistance for them, and that in the end will solve or reduce food insecurity. There's this option of isolation, which I mentioned earlier. You don't want your uncle, your auntie, your grandma to be only self-isolated just because they don't know how to use their phones and they just don't know what to do with it. Technical difficulty, it's another thing that I mentioned, using my grandmother as an example. Transportation barrier, I also mentioned that. Challenges with administrative tasks, all of these form failing, all of these other stuff is very important. Health outcomes, health literacy, because if they're able to use it, they will be engaged and educated by these volunteers. And this will also provide opportunities for these volunteers to be able to utilize their skills that they learned in college, in high school, to further develop their skills, and also maybe use that as an experience, particularly when applying to medical school. So it is very important, and I'm very excited to take this on. I've always found how hard it's going to be, this whole journey, and I'm actually still incredibly lucky that I had a very good friend of mine on this project. He admires my work so much, and sometimes I just don't even understand why he has that level of gratitude, and the level of acceptance that he sees me from is immaculate, and I appreciate him so much, right? He got on this project not even a day after I told him. He just drafted this whole pages of how we would work it together, and he's also a software engineer, so he pretty much helped me get my foot on the door by helping me create very few demonstrations of the app and what it would look like, and that was amazing to see. So it looks something like a blue layout with a picture of the senior that would say "Welcome back, Margaret," and then it would say "Hey, recent activity," and all of these other things that this person signed up to do, right? Did they sign up to book a medical appointment? Did they sign up to book a ride? All of that will show. And then on the other screen, you'll see all of the different hubs: medical, transportation, translation, right? You're also going to see administrative hub, which involves all of the things that you're able to do under that hub. So that was amazing. Now let's talk a little bit about our competitors. I mentioned earlier, the main competitor here is like Be My Eyes. I'm not even sure if it will be like a heavy competitor, but when it comes to the aspect of using volunteers and pairing them with users, they are the top competitor that we're talking about. So they essentially provide visual assistance for blind users, and they ideally use mobile and camera for the visually impaired people. But here is where Handi differs. Handi supports broader senior needs, including admin tasks, and provide companionship that way. So if they needed help with insurance, they're able to do that. I work at a clinic. Well, not work. I volunteer at a free clinic as a translator, and at the end of every physical, every doctor's visit with each of the patient, we identify the patients that do not have insurance, and a lot of them, they just don't have the computer to be able to apply for the insurance, and how else do they get to do it, right? So if we're able to figure some way out, we would make things work. So the other ones are Papa, Get Set Up, a Career. So Papa is a paid companionship and errands. Get Set Up is an online learning for seniors. Career is caregiver matching platforms. I'm not sure if Career would be the biggest competitor, but I think it's up there. It's up there. Ultimately, Handi helps these seniors by mobilizing them and reducing costs, right? We also are going to help them really reduce the tech savviness of the app, because we're gonna include some voice assistant technology to it using AI. We also gonna make sure that Handi focuses on community. I did create a survey to ideally ask a couple of the seniors around me, and they all pretty much liked it. A lot of them said they would use it again. Some of them said it was a nice overall experience. So that was a nice thing to see. I want to be able to talk to a lot more people to see what they think overall, right? Maybe to see some of the English speaking seniors and just work with them. The business idea that I adapted with my team was ideally through 3 ways. The first one would be to directly connect with senior centers that will allow us to gain access to engage seniors that want to do activities. The second one would be hospitals. We're still working on how exactly this will work. And the third one would be insurance companies. I think that would be our number one sort of source of revenue, because we'll be able to host some of their products that they present to these seniors, some of the services like transportation. I recently learned that Medicare and Medicaid also provide some sort of transportation assistance to seniors and just anybody that can't make it to the appointment, which is good. So we'll be able to work with them and perhaps see if we can host them over there. We also would try and connect with AARP to see if they have any grants, and just something that will help us just get out there and connect with the seniors a lot more. This is overall a very nice project that I fell in love with, practically because, my grandmother is part of why I started it in the first place. But it's still so scary to see it just come out. And funding too is another problem that I'm like, I'm so scared, because how are we gonna build this? Like, I have a friend helping me doing this, but it's still gonna be quite expensive to build it. So we have to be quite strategic when it comes to marketing and trying to source for, I guess, people that will help us get this out there. You get what I'm saying? I got the opportunity to pitch this idea that I just talked to you about in detail at a pitch competition, which was nice. It really wasn't a competition, it was just more of a showcase, because nobody won or lost. So that was nice. I got the opportunity to talk to some of the judges, and one was an investor. So I was like, hey, can we meet up? And I met up with them. I sent him a link, and it was very nice to talk to him. And from the perspective, it looked like he wouldn't just give you your money. At first I thought, meeting with an investor, you're gonna get money. No, you're not just gonna get money. A lot of it is rooted in what you're gonna bring to the table. So when people ask you, what do you bring into the table, it is real. It is not real when it comes to relationships, because who are you gonna be asking me what I bring to the table? I bring me. And me is the best thing to ever happen to you. On the business aspect of things, when you're trying to look for funding and seek for all of these wonderful opportunities, the word or the term, literal term, what do you bring to the table, is real, because they truly mean it. If you don't bring anything to the table, you don't expect any money, okay? And that was the first thing that this investor told me. He's like, hey, there are a lot of ways to get funding. You can get it through grants, you can get it through friends, you can get it through family. You can also join some organizations like Startup Boston, which I'm a part of, so I'm going to look into it. But essentially, you can also get money from investors, angel investors, just anybody that is ready to invest in you, that believes in you, will be able to do that. But it's very important that you know your stance in the company and how much you value equity, and also what is the return of investment and what does that look like, because if it's not looking promising, you're not getting that money, okay? you need to make sure that you sit down and identify certain things, which what I'm doing right now is part of me sitting down, because me talking through it is allowing me to think a lot more of what and how I want to proceed with this. So he talked a couple of times about time, money, value. So how much time it takes to create this product and what is the value that I'm getting, because I was like, okay, I'm looking for people to help me build this project, because I don't have the money right now to pay for engineers. So how exactly do I do this? Maybe I can ask a couple of interns, it will be unpaid, but at least I will market in a way that, hey, you'll be able to put this on your resume, you'll be able to market this as a side project. It should be okay to be able to help me out with it. So that's what I'm planning to do. In my school at UMass Lowell, they have like this aluminium alumni hub. Where'd I get aluminium from, honey? Okay, alumni hub, and that I will be able to, I guess, post on there and say, hey, I need some help building this app, can you guys help me? So once I get that across, at least we'll be able to have something workable, a lot more workable. We do have something workable, but something a lot more workable. Okay, so the first question that he told me to ask myself, what would be the ideal cost for running Handi, the general? And that entails just the front end, the back end, maintenance, sales, all of the things that comes with hosting and running a secure website, secure app, right? Because we're trying to use it as a website and an app, both on Android and Apple. So you can guess, it is looking not very promising, particularly for someone that's about to start med school. So that's been something I've been pondering about, but it's important that I set up the math to identify if I need developers at all. How many would I need? How many would I need to complete the project at a certain time? Do I give them 3 months, 6 months, right? What are the type of developers I need? Is it just an Android developer, an iOS developer, an AI developer, right? And there's the time element, which I just mentioned. You also want to make sure that how much they cost. Like, please, if you're an engineer, I need help, but please don't charge me $114 an hour. me no tango the money. Okay, but overall it's just very challenging. He said these are all of the reasons why I've never been able to launch my business, because it's very hard to answer all of these questions. I was like, yeah, right. I don't know what he was trying to say saying that, but it was good reality check. But I'm still not gonna give up, though. I feel like it's also very important to keep in mind that if I don't try, I'm not gonna get the experience ever. That means I will never ever launch a business. Come on, are you kidding me? If this doesn't work, I'll try something else. I'll try something else, and that is what I'm doing. And just being able to do this is just important in general. I am a part of Startup Boston, and I've seen a lot of opportunities that are presented over there, like accelerator programs, grants. So I'm going to look into that, and most importantly, find something that will work and help me through alignment of just the mission statement of what Handi is. So it has definitely been a reality check, something that's just going to be a challenging road ahead, but I'm very excited to proceed. I'm just going to try my best to put myself out there a lot more. 2 or 3 days ago, I went to the Barracuda Bowl? I think so. And that was in Boston. Oh my God, it was in this super nice law firm. I think Mint. It was beautiful. It was absolutely stunning. But everybody was just so smart. There were a lot of MDs, a lot of PhDs. All of them just were insanely smart, and I'm so happy that I got the opportunity to go, because I just had to just talk about Handi and how I'm excited about this project, and they were all excited to hear about my idea and what I've been working on. It was amazing. I also met another investor whom gave me his card, so I'm going to reach out to him, just trying to build my network alongside trying to create something meaningful for my loved ones, starting from my grandmother. And it has been an exciting journey. I'm looking forward to see what we will make of Handi. And by the way, we also made a website. Oh no, my friend assisted me with that. I purchased the domain, so we're gonna host that on there and see where we're gonna go from there, just getting the app out. So that is it. I mean, if there's anything, any question, any comment, please leave it down below. If you want to know a lot more about Handi, I would like to tell you a lot more about it. I'm gonna leave it here. This podcast has been a wonderful journey. I think it's 6 or 7 episodes in, and I'm very elated to do this. I'm starting to find joy. Sometimes the timing is very tedious. Today's Sunday, I'm uploading it today and I'm recording it today, so but we're getting this out. I am traveling next week to a southern state. Guess where I'm going? But I'm gonna make sure the podcast is scheduled to be posted on that day, so you are not going to miss out on a new episode. So once again, my name is behindthe Ajma. I am your host for my Planet Self podcast. Stay tuned for where Handi takes me and where I take Handi, and alongside where I take myself. I'm going to talk about it quite often here. And thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day.